Well, in an earlier video I showed you my seat box is set up and all the attachments and gizmos and trays and things I use, so I thought I'd have a closer look at what actually goes inside my seat box. It's still as dirty as it ever was, but the trays and the drawers are all nice and clean, so I thought I'd better show you them before I get them all dirtied up at the weekend. So let's have a look inside the box. Yeah, thought I'd show you how filthy it is. All these people have too much time on their hands cleaning the boxes. Pointless exercise, because in 2 days time it's going to be just like this again, dead maggots and muck and pellets and all sorts of things on there. So but it's this top bit that's important to me, and I've got space under the seat, and I've got a nice side drawer as well, and that's what we're going to have a look at just now. Well, let's go under the seat first. Under here is where I keep non-essential items or things I don't use very often, but it's just somewhere I don't like wasting any sort of storage space, so I always make sure I carry the maximum amount of gear in my box. So let's have a look. I've basically got 2 of these sorts of trays. These are old pole winder trays, and 2 of them fit underneath the seat box lid, one with bits and bobs and one with line. So you can see that. On one of these trays I've got all my line in. I also do carry a few spools of fluorocarbon, but I'm messing around with different types at the moment, and I'm not really sure which is which, so I've took them out for now to do some tests. But I do use fluorocarbon for feeder fishing, but general mono for 90% of my work, just feeder fishing up links. I tend to use fluorocarbon. So so that's one tray. It's just got line in. I don't use a lot of line during a session, but it's always there if I need it. And then my second tray, which is a bit more interesting, I'm an absolute storage tub geek. So I've got all sorts of little tubs and Tupperware. I'm a Tupperware porn, I call it. So, but I have got all sorts of tubs. I just got, I think, 20 tubs in different sizes for about 20 quid from Amazon, and I'm just obsessed with storage and things. So it's nice that I've got all these tubs with bits and bobs in. Most of this is non-essential stuff. I've got shot. I only use that when I'm on the river, really, or shotting up wagglers and things. Very rarely use shot for a lot of my fishing. I use loaded wagglers, for instance, and stuff, but I've always got some shot with me, just in case. I've got some pole hookups and bits and bobs, and I've got I've got a couple of threaded things in there, but mostly pole hookups and things. I always carry a selection of different ones. I've got let's put this there. I've got a selection of booms and things, and anti-tangle sleeves and bungee links and things that I've made. Some homemade ones. I've got some the Matrix sliding feeder booms there as well. Some all sorts of bits and bobs in there. I'm always playing around with rigs and stuff, so they're always with me. Different types of things. I've got a few pole dacrons and things, and well, you can see, and I don't need to open it, just in case I need to make some quick adjustments. I've always got a tub of pole silicone. Oh, it's quite windy today. Sorry if you can hear the noise on that. I've got 2 tubs of big leads, which don't come out very often, but right up to 40 gram. Let's see if I've got any. Yeah, I've got some with the swivel still on. You can see that. But actually, I tend to snip them off, because I'm always using a snap link anyway. So I just chop them off, but I've left some on for show, just in case Matrix need me to show them, as they should be. But that's so they're lovely cube weights there. So and I've got some bigger ones. These are the old Fox Match ones. I've got loads of these, right up to, is that 2 ounce, 2.5 ounce, 2 ounce, for like PVA bag fishing and things like that. Big leads, or on a flooded river perhaps. So I've always got them. A bit of extra weight to your box, but you never know when you might need them. I've got a mixed tub of bands and booms and all sorts of gubbins in there, things I've been messing around with and trying. I've got some lead core there that I used to use for extending my rigs on windy days and things. Maybe I'll show you that another time. It's a bit complicated to discuss now, really. And then my last one is just a tub of absolute bits and bobs there. Poly balls. I've got some bits of foam, some fluoro putty, paste cages, and all sorts of strange bits and bobs in there that probably never ever get used, but I always carry them just in case. So it's just me. So these have been in my box for years, so I always carry stuff like that. You never know, you just never know. But it's all out the way, under the seat, largely forgotten about. So that's it. Well, this is the bit you probably all want to see, is what's in my side drawer. I just have one deep side drawer. If I had longer legs, I'd be able to fit 1 or 2 more trays up there, but I've got quite short legs, so I can only have one deep side drawer on my box. All you long-legged people can have even more, but not for me. So I'll just pull it all the way out and we'll have a look. As you can see, absolutely full of stuff. All of it has a use. I try not to carry anything that doesn't need to be in there, but there's so many just in cases and things. And I'm also obsessed with doubling things up, and if I drop something that I use, then I need to make sure I've got another one. So that's why I've got multiples of things, and I generally have a few bits and bobs at the front, but I double up everything out in the back, out the way like that as well. So this unit there, by the way, is a tackle tidy unit, I think it was I got. It came like that, just a bit more partitioned. And I actually got him to make this for me, just that little bit, and that just slides in there, and that's all my plummets and everything go in there. So let's have a look at this unit first. Well, let's have a look in this bit first, shall we? So in there I've got plummets. These are made by Mark Charnell. If you look on Facebook, and you'll be able to find him. They're the best plummets I've ever used, really. I tend to use 15 and 20 gram ones the most. Nice big eye, nice and flat, and absolutely perfect. Commercially available, the nearest term is this Preston style one. I've seen some right contraptions trying to over design the wheel, really, which I don't quite see the point of. Some of the complicated plummets out there, so you can't go wrong with that style of plummet. Very easy to put on and off, a nice big eye, especially if you've got a band or something on your hook as well. I do have a few extra plummets, this style of clip-on plummet, more for river or for very, very quick depth finding. I might quickly pop it on the shot just to quickly see how deep it is. I carry some snips. These are Corum snips, I think they are, for making little trimming. I don't tend to trim the lines so much. I use them for trimming shot and everything. I've always got a pencil. I write the markings on my pole winders with a soft pencil, HB 2B pencil, and then I can rub it off nice and easily. And then the only other thing I have in there as well is a tyre marking crayon. These are normally twice the length of that, and they're what I use for marking my depth. It's a hard but waxy crayon, and they're garages and that sell them. I buy them about a pack of 10 from Amazon or wherever. This is what they look like, normally like that, that long. I chop them in half, and I've got 2. Aid Mansfield put me onto that, and it's absolutely the best thing I've ever used for marking the depth. I used to use Tip X, and then I moved to a China graph pencil, but now I use these tyre marking crayons. Absolutely brilliant they are. So that's all that goes in that little tub. Plenty of, oh no, I also always carry a few little bombs, just the small ones. So it's that 17.5 gram, and I've got some of the old Fox Match half-ounce ones as well, little flat bombs. So I always carry a few little bombs as well for clipping up and things like that. So yeah, that's a nice little useful pot in there, which they made especially for me. I had it custom made for me. I don't know if he sells them now or not, but yeah, tackle tidy. So yeah, I just had him made a couple for me. So this main compartment here, I've scissors. I cannot bite line. I cannot bite line at all. So I have a couple of sorts of scissors. I love straight nail scissors. Very, very sharp, but I also do use braid scissors quite a lot as well. They grip the line and they grip things nicely and everything, so I carry both sorts, and I've got loads of scissors with me always, because I'll be lost without them because I cannot bite line. A couple of loop tyres. These are the Ringer variety, nice and bright, so I can't lose them. Lovely smooth head on these. Some of them have got a bit of a burr and stuff on them, but these are really, really well made, so nice, very useful. So I generally carry a couple of those. I put all my shot on with style pincers, as you can see there, and I can take shot off and everything. But the old-fashioned, these, I think these are Sensas one style pincers. I'd be lost about those. I put all my shot on and off. You can use flathead pliers and stuff. I have got some flathead pliers. In fact, they're not in my box because I'm just about to get a clean pair that hasn't gone rusty. But that's what I generally use. The pliers are for squeezing big shot on and other sort of maintenance work, really, but that's what I use for my pole rig making. I've always got 2 or 3 disgorgers. Usually the pink one comes out. and then I've also got a couple of Sharpies. I use the big one, the big black one, for marking my pole floats and blacking off pole float bristles and things. I'll also, because I use Horizon Mono, which is grey, I also mark my line with a black marker pen to get my distance and that. Else I can also use
a white, this is a Sensas line marker as well. It's like a white thing for writing on your reel when to get your distance. So you clip up with your reel, and then you mark the line where you've clipped up in case you have to take your clip off. So I do use that, but I tend to use the black marker as well. And then a silver Sharpie. All my top kits, my black top kits, I can write it on with a silver Sharpie. It shows up really nice and just very, very easy to use. So there, I've got, I always carry a tub of stots, complete set from 13s right up to 8s. So I use them all. Big uns for back shot and little uns for fine tuning. And if I need to make a rig up on the bank, I use stots, but I do prefer Balabini round shot for most of my rig making. So I carry a few of these. Yeah, I've got 11s and stuff for if I have to make a rig up on the bank, 10s, 11s, 12s. As far as I've not got any number 8s in there, but yeah, so I prefer round shot generally, but stots are kind of full of line for back shots or fine tuning and making rigs up on the bank. And then I've always got some tape for repairs and also for marking my pole, and as I said, I carry 2 of everything, so I've got some black tape there as well. Colour doesn't make a lot of difference to me, so so they're a nice little roll that's not in the way too much. I use these banders device. I'm very lucky I can put a pellet on easily without using one of these, but I do use them for banding maggots and other baits, but mostly banding maggots. So I've always got a couple of those, actually 3. Like I said, I don't like being without. I've got various pins and things. Let's have a look in here. This is quite interesting, he says. Pop them in there. So that's the Preston needle for if I'm banding baits internally and pull it in and out. So I always carry a couple of those. That's my general spike for using extra strong super stop, you know, for herring bread and things like that. So I've always got a couple of those. Great knot picker device as well, mega sharp. That should come with a warning really. Pop that there like that. Then I've got this sort of one which has got a little hair for pulling hairs and things. I don't tend to use that needle so much, but it is still useful to have in the box. This needle's absolutely brilliant. It's just got a short diamond eye elastic threader end. Hopefully you can see that. And that's for just changing my dacrons or my beads at the side puller end of my box and stuff. That's really, really useful. Great little device there. Don't know why no one brought something like that out sooner. I'd be lost without that. I've got a little bait drill, a little fine bait drill if I have to drill anything. And then this is the other bit. I've got these are micro files for filing a pellet, a little groove in a pellet, so the band stays in them easier. If I'm using big pellets and that, and sometimes the band slips out or you're casting a long way, I'll just groove them with a couple. I got these like a pack of 10 cheaply from eBay or Amazon or somewhere, but they're useful for just putting a little groove and a little other fine tuning things. But that's what I use it for filing my pellets. So a couple of those go in there as well. And then the last bit in the front here are my punches. Show you these. I've generally used 6mm and 8mm punches for me summer commercials and that. I've got a big box of punches that stay in a separate bag that come out if I am fishing sort of a roachy venue, but 6 and 8mm cover most of my commercial fishing at the moment. And then this style of bait punch, absolutely brilliant. They come in 6, 8 and 10mm. Usually the 10mm comes out, just a little plunger device for bread discs and stuff. Absolutely brilliant. Again, really simple to make. I used to have some spring-loaded ones, but I actually prefer these. They're really good, surprisingly good actually. And you don't necessarily have to compress the bread with a punch like this as well, but you can use the plunger to really compress it as well, so it sinks or your bread sinks or floats. So I've always got 2 sets of them, full sets in the box as well. Okay, so we'll have a look at the back quick. I've got all sorts of swivels and bits and bobs there and bands and stuff for if I need it. I've got headache tablets, always important just in case. And then I've got barbed and barbless hooks as well. I do carry some other brands. I will have to hold my hand up and say I do use other brands as well, but in the main I try and stick to the Matrix ones, but obviously they don't do everything I want. For instance, I use a nice big circle hook sometimes, which we don't do. Some barbed hooks as well especially. So I do carry other hooks, but they stay at the back, very rarely come out unless I have to tie a rig up on the bank or something. And then let's have a look what we got in here. Little leads, mostly little inline leads, some little tiny 1/3 of an ounce guru ones. I've got some tiny 1/4 ounce box match ones, all sorts of bits and bobs there. I've got some inline leads. We don't need to open the box there. I've got the 1/3 ounce Guru ones, and then ours go down to 20 gram at the moment. So, and I tend to use the 20 the most actually, especially sort of big open waters and that on the sort of bomb and pellet line, sort of 20 to 25 metre chuck. That's ideal, the 20 grams. They're all inline ones. I've got some booms and bits and bobs in there. I always carry a mask. Some of the venues I fish, White Acres and Tunnel Barn Farm, you have to wear a mask at the weigh-in, so I always got one in the box just in case. Don't want to fall foul of that. A little tub of booms and bits and bobs and sleeves and things for different feeders and what have you. Got some Guru ones there because you have to use Guru X Safe ones at White Acres, so I sometimes don't have the sleeves and that, but they're the Matrix ones that I generally use. It's only White Acres where I'll use the Guru ones, purely because you've got to use Guru X Safe system down there. And then what have we got? We've got all sorts of swivels and rings in there, more Tupperware. Quick change swivels, different types of swivels there. I do really like, let's see if I can see it. There's 2 types of swivel, and I'm quite pernickety about them. So that's the original sort of American snaplink swivel there, but this rounder style is better for a waggler if you're going to use it to attach a waggler, because it centralises the waggler and stops it veering off to one side. But I find that class system is also more reliable when you're using elasticated method feeders and that. I've actually had these pull open at Boddington Reservoir, so I've always swapped to these now, because I don't want a carp opening this out, whereas they can't open this one out so easily. So I tend to use this round style a lot more now, but I do carry both. So there, I've got that. I've got a range of sort of hair extra strong super stops and bits and bobs in there. I've got a tub of bands. I often hook pellets just by hooking the band straight onto a spade end hook, so I always have a little tub of bands with me. I do that quite a lot. More little bands, even more little bands, yeah, all sorts of bands. And what's in this one? I can't remember. See what's in. Oh yeah, that one's just got float stops, rubber float stops, and knot protector beads and things. And then there's one other tub. What did I see? Oh yeah, and this one, these are sort of waggler plummets. They're just a shot with a band in the slot, so I can just slip them on if I want to test the depth with a waggler, you know, AA and swan shot. Weights are more kind of make less of a noise and impact and everything, and easier to cast than using a big 15-20 gram plummet. So that's it, that's those 2. Loads in there, isn't there? A lot more than what a lot of people carry, I'm sure. And in the back I've doubled up everything. More scissors. Actually, I should have another pair of, there is another pair in there. Lots more scissors and stuff, which I can't do without. A little craft knife, which I'm always using just in case. Very, very invaluable. I always carry some bait cones. These are years and years old, but I never seem to use the pellet cone, shall I say. So maybe we should revisit that one day. And that's it. So that's that drawer. There's a lot of stuff in there, I'm sure you'll agree. But everything is in there and has its place. I used to put pole pots in these compartments and that, but they always get a bit gunked up and everything, and I just tend to keep my pole pots out in a separate bag. Wagglers, feeders, everything stays in my bigger bag. So this is just my accessories and tools and little shots and things like that. So hopefully that's shown you exactly what's inside my side drawers, and I hope given you a few pointers as to what you might be carrying and might not be carrying, and whether I carry too much is never in question. Of course I do, but that's just me. I'm a bit of a hoarder, I'm a bit of a gadget man, and I love having everything in its place, and I do like my little bits of Tupperware as well. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you on another video.